New photos from Matt's fantasy suites may reveal who's going home next. Hey guys, welcome back to another shared news from home. Matt James's journey as the Bachelor is almost over, and new photos from fantasy suites may give us some clues as to what's to come. But before we get into it, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring, and I'm joined by the wonderful Mariah Davis. Mariah, this has been a roller coaster of a season. How are you feeling heading into the finale?
Honestly, I hate to say this. I don't mean to sound super negative. I got mad love for Matt, but I'm ready for this season to wrap up. I feel like this season has put us through a roller coaster, and it's been mentally and emotionally exhausting just keeping up. So I'm ready for it to wrap up, honestly. Matt, I feel like we all already know what kind of happens. I'm sorry it didn't work out. If that's the case, spoiler alert, sorry. But I'm ready to see like everything else unfold. I think from here on out, we're just going to see kind of positive. This promo looked a little heavy, but it's not so much catty drama centered. It's more like the kind of stuff that we're used to seeing on The Bachelor, Bachelorette. So I'm ready for things to unfold.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I'm not expecting any more catty drama. I'm expecting some emotional goodbyes, some emotional conversations. And of course, I think we're all really looking forward to catching up with Matt, post-season where he is right now, but we'll have to wait a little longer for that. In the meantime, ABC has released some fantasy suite photos as well as the official synopsis of the episodes. So we're going to dive into this, look for as many clues as we can find for what's to come. The official synopsis says it's time for fantasy suites. Matt and his 3 remaining women each enjoy romantic and perfectly tailored one-on-one dates, all of which lead to the big question, are they ready to spend the night together? But before he can truly consider moving forward in a relationship, he must first address the one that has previously held him back. Will an honest conversation be enough to guide him on his quest to find love? So, some classic Bachelor drama peppered in there, but the 2 things that really jumped out at me, at least, in that statement is the question of, are they ready to spend the night together? Because I have to say, Mariah, up until this point, I haven't really been expecting any of the women to, potentially decline or not feel that their relationship is ready to take it to this step. Are you anticipating maybe any hesitation here from any of the women?
I would be really surprised if there was any hesitation because they all seem like they're all in the same place as far as their feelings. Now, Serena P, if she was still on the show, then I'd be like, yeah, she's not doing that. There's no way. But with the girls that we have remaining, I think they're all ready to advance in their relationship with Matt. That's a really special and unique time. The first time that they're able to really spend that unique, intimate time with him. So I think they're all going to be taking advantage of that. I would be truly shocked if anyone turned it down.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I don't think we're going to see a lot of hesitation, especially because this is the time that you get, just cameras not rolling, right? It doesn't matter what you talk about, what happens, but it gives you an opportunity to have the conversation that maybe you've been holding back because of the cameras, or to just spend some uninterrupted time without 6 other people, in the room with a camera, with a microphone in your face. It gives you a little privacy. And in theory, you're going to get engaged. I would want that privacy, that's for sure. The second part is clearly about, the emotional conversations they've been teasing with his parents. We know both his mom and his dad, who he has a difficult relationship with, are going to be in the bubble on the property, sitting down with him to talk about just their family in general. Based on the promo clips we've seen, which do include one of Matt sitting on the curb with Chris Harrison saying he's not sure he can go on, how do we think these conversations are going to go?
They seem like they're going to be really heavy. I mean, as we can imagine, we know that he's had this falling out, this missing part of his life, which his dad has not been present. So naturally, it would be really heavy. I remember when we first saw these promos, I think at the beginning of the season, or honestly, even a few weeks ago, we were all kind of assuming that maybe it was because he sends someone home or somebody leaves unexpectedly. But now it's come together and we can see it's definitely because of these heavy conversations that he's having with his parents. But I think one thing I'm really grateful that the Bachelor franchise is giving Matt is an opportunity to connect with his dad and to kind of heal that wound. I hope that he does have that opportunity and that is what ultimately takes place. Like a little bit of closure, a little bit of clarity.
Yeah, I'm totally with you, especially through the lens of like, listen, this season more than any other season has been plagued by spoilers, in a different way than we've ever seen before. So if at the end of the day,
Mhm.
this conversation, this moment with his father can bring him some sort of peace, closure or confidence moving forward in future relationships, that's a pretty big win, all things considered, especially knowing that he might not be sitting somewhere engaged and in love and happy right now. Let's dive into some of these pictures because they definitely give us a pretty clear idea of what each of the different dates are going to be looking like. First, we have Rachel and Matt doing pottery together. We know that pottery can be sort of an intimate experience, right? Two people sitting, creating art together. That's definitely something that can lead to some just flirtatious energy. I'm assuming that those two doing pottery is going to be quite the time. It also looks like Michelle and Matt are going to be doing sort of a romantic, what I would describe it as spa-like activity. They've been teasing, some of these moments in the promo clip for a long time right now. It looks like they're going to be taking some sort of milk bath is the best way I can describe it. They're, all oiled up there, a lot of romance, a lot of intimacy in the air between the two of them. And then we have Bree and Matt, who appear to be heading out into the woods, possibly camping. They have, sleeping bags, they have gear. You can see them here with their walking sticks. I mean, they look like they're going to be doing a bit of an outdoorsy adventure. Of course, they could end up in a cozy little cabin, and we did see that these dates, according to the synopsis, were tailor made. But unless Bree has been hiding a major passion for camping, all things outdoors that we just aren't aware of yet, this date strikes me as a little less romantic, just surface level than the rest of them.
Yeah, I mean, as far as dates go, everyone got cheated as far as I'm concerned. After looking at the date that Michelle is having with Matt, I mean, how intimate I did that look. Like they're all oiled up, a milk bath. I know nothing about a milk bath, but it looks really romantic. So everyone got cheated as far as I'm concerned. But personally, I do love camping. I love hiking. And I think with my boyfriend now, if we were to have that, it would be really special and romantic for us. But I guess if you're a newer couple and you don't know each other that well, it's your first like really unique one-on-one time together that's going to advance all night long, then yeah, maybe I wouldn't prefer that. But I'm happy that they ended up in a cabin because honestly, it looks cold there, first of all. I mean, I love that they have the option to keep each other warm in their tiny little tent, but I'm glad that they also got to go in a cabin. They had a little bit of both.
Right, right. I'm totally with you. So we are at our final 3 point. Three very different dates, three very different activities, and of course, three completely different, unique women, all of which Matt has, developed very intense connections with. I don't have any doubts as his, authenticity of his connections with any of these women. It seems like he really, really does care for each of them. This is the stage of the game that I, as a viewer, always just start to dread because typically I like the final three and it's hard for me to choose. And I just can never imagine being in the shoes of the person that's going to have to really, truly break some hearts. So, is Bree going home next? Is Michelle going home next? Who do you think is going to end up our final two?
It's so hard to say which one is going home next because, like you said, I love Brie, I love Michelle. It's hard to say whose connection is stronger than the other. I want to say I lean more towards Michelle because of all the many things they have in common. But I hate that my girl Brie could be going home because she quit her job to be there. She's clearly really committed. But maybe if that's the kind of the direction we're pulling, then maybe she has better and bigger things waiting for her outside of Bachelor.
Yeah, I am totally with you. I mean, there is no question that Brie really, really dedicated herself to this process. And, we think back to that moment you mentioned when she reveals to Matt that she quit her job to be there. That was a moment that happened, midway into her on this show. She could have sent herself home at that stage and kept that job, but she really believes in their relationship, stayed to stick it out. That one will be absolutely heartbreaking whenever we do see her leave. I imagine their goodbye is going to be very emotional. But I'm with you. I don't know who's going home next. I know that either way, it's going to be breaking my heart. And again, I just keep coming back to that after the final rose special, I think is really, as much as we all want to see fantasy suites, as much as we all want to know what happens, who's our final two, I want to know how Matt feels right now. I'm like counting down the seconds until we can hear an update from him and, his sort of reflection on this entire process. So, as hard as it's going to be to make this prediction based on the photos, based on the promo, who do you think is going home this week? If you had to guess.
If I had to guess, I'm gonna say Brie. I don't really know exactly why I'm leaning more towards her. I think maybe because I was so completely sold the moment Michelle and Matt like had their first date. I was like, oh, it's done. Like we're done now. So that I guess that's the only reason I may sway towards Brie being the one to go home. I'm gonna lock that in as my final answer. But I do hope that we get to see more of Brie in the future of the Bachelor franchise.
I am 100% with you. I think for the exact same reasons, I was also sold literally from minute one of Michelle and Matt's date. And as much as I think Brie and Matt have an amazing connection, I feel like it's going to be a little harder to say goodbye to Michelle, a little harder to let Michelle walk away. But I have a feeling, hopefully, that with Paradise coming back, we'll get to see some of these women who we've really, started to care for and want to know more about in Paradise in the future. So fingers crossed that they all find love eventually. As we said earlier, it has been a roller coaster of a season, and the wait is almost over, you guys. We are so close to the end, so close to literally having all the answers. In the meantime, we want to know your thoughts on everything heading into this finale. What do you make of these date promo pictures, and who do you think is going to end up in the final two? Let us know down in the comments, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so we can keep you updated on all things Matt James. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring. I was joined by the lovely Mariah Davis. If you want to come say hi, our social handles are on the screen right now. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.